Hey, lords and ladies, boys and girls, it is past time for my monthly wrap up. Yes, I am a week behind, but life has been hectic, so here we go. What did I read during the month of September? First thing I finished off was Fiend by Alma Katsu. I do have a review out for that. That was a 5-star book. Thoroughly enjoyed it. The ending really brought it home for me. I think you should check it out. It's really short and it's perfect for spooky season. So there you go. Followed that up with the 113th Assistant Librarian by Stuart Wilson. Now, this was a fun little book. It was definitely aimed at somebody a little younger than me, but I still thoroughly enjoyed it. 4-star book. This great story, fun time. Check it out. Then, possibly my best book of the year. And I don't rate books of the month or books of the year, but I'm still going to tell you this anyhow. The Way of a Dan by Dr. Philip Chase. That one has taken me a minute. I've been reading that one for a while, but the only reason I did not finish it sooner is because we didn't have an interview lined up. So it kept having to take a back seat for my must-reads. Some books just had to be done in a certain time. Finally had some moments to finish that one up, and I loved it. I will be getting to book 2 just as soon as I can fit it in. But that one, definitely check that one out. Is a little bit more of a chonker. This one is epic fantasy. So, you know, maybe not your spooky season read, but definitely needs to be on your list. Then we have Turncoat by Jim Butcher, book 11 in the Dresden Files. Rarely do I give a book this late in a series 5 stars, but I did give this one 5 stars. I don't have a video review out for it, but I do have a review out on Goodreads. This book is really the culmination of the first 10 books in the series so far. Things are starting to come together. You're starting to see the whole picture. There's a who's who of his past in this one, and it's somebody asking for Harry's help that would never ask for Harry's help. So, yes, it was an awesome book. Followed that up with Daedalus is Dead. That one I will be getting a review out for. That's by Seamus Sullivan. A retelling of Daedalus and Icarus and the Minotaur, etc. and so forth. But yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, not quite as much humor as some of the other retellings I've seen, but is definitely a different take on the story. Absolutely loved it. Definitely worth picking up. Another super short book. You will be able to fit that in pretty much anywhere. Then I almost feel sorry for including this one. It is on my Goodreads list, so I'm counting it as a book read. It is technically really a short story, but Amazon had it out as one of those free reads, and so therefore it does show up as a book on Goodreads. But it was still awesome. In Bloom by Paul Tremblay. I don't have it in front of me. Obviously, it was an ebook. I swear it was like 35 pages long, but it was an excellent, excellent horror story. Another one, if you just need a palate cleanser in between and you just want just a little bit of creepy, super short, definitely spooky season appropriate. All right, what did we finish next? We finished If I Run, which was a mystery. That one is by Molly Black. That one I was kind of hemming and hawing on. I think I ended up doing 4 stars on it. Couldn't quite drop it down to a 3, but it definitely was not in the 5 list either. But it's also not my normal type of book. If you're into the whole murder mystery type thing, and maybe even more of a police procedural type thing, you may rate this one a little higher. I still enjoyed it. It had a lot of stiff competition this month. Was that the last? Nope, that is not the last one. Also for September, I finally finished up, and this is another one that took me a while because it kept getting put on the back burner. But I finished up Glass House by Paul Jessup. I know Paul was a little worried. And but Paul's been on like 5 or 6 times. You know, I don't feel like I'm name dropping when I say Paul was a little worried. Paul was a little worried that I wasn't going to be into some of the stuff because he knows, like, you know, certain things like body horror and stuff aren't my thing. But I really thought the body horror was minimal in this. It was more you see what had happened to people instead of watching it currently happen to people, which I think I don't have as big of a problem with. And I gave it 5 stars. I loved it. I also recommended it for Horror Recs for Horror Authors, that video, if you guys didn't see that one. Absolutely, totally worth it. Definitely, I think you should check that one out. And he's also got a couple new books dropping this year too, but that's neither here nor there. In fact, I think they're both out already. Okay, so that is everything I read. I didn't feel like I read that much this month until I actually started saying it all out loud. I was also going to wrap the book haul into this video to catch up on everything, and then I realized A, I think I only got a couple books, and B, I couldn't figure out where I put them. They're probably in a pile somewhere. So part of October's thing is going to be to clean up this mess. I know it looks nice behind me. You don't see what's in front of the camera. I got a little cleanup to do in here, get myself a little more organized, knock that out. Video-wise on the channel, the big one had a lot of fun doing it this year. It was the very end of September, but we did our horror recs for from horror authors video. This is our second annual one. So many more people involved this year. Previous year was kind of an afterthought. I saw people doing spooky recommendations. I'm like, I should do something like that. So I'm in the middle of September trying to get everybody put together. I think this year I started like in June or July lining people up. And so it was a live stream, so you could come into chat and talk back and forth. But basically it was, again, Paul Jessup and I, again, horror author. We did the live stream and then we presented videos and a couple of emails from authors hopping on and recommending theirs. So not everybody was live. They were mainly recordings. But again, it was a live stream. And yeah, Paul Tremblay, Grady Hendricks, Liz Hand, emails from Kelly Armstrong, AC Wise. I think we ended up with like 14 videos and 4 emails this year. Yeah, which, it takes up a chunk of time. So yeah, much bigger turnout than last year. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. If you're still looking for some spooky season ideas, go back and check out that video. It was awesome. I enjoyed it. On the interview front, towards the end of the month, was it the end of the month? The middle of the month, I had Josefina on from Fina Reads, fellow booktuber. You guys should check her out if you're not already watching her. Oh my goodness. We had fun. That one I think it went over 2 hours. It was a live stream. Part of that I'm going to blame on chat, though. They came at us with some really good questions, ones that I didn't have prepared, and we just, like I said, we just sat around and talked for a couple hours. And then, of course, author events. We did have Alma Katsu on to talk about Fiend. That was fun. She's also got a story in the End of the World as We Know It, the Stephen King, The Stand anthology. So she's got a few books out there. You might recognize that name. And then we finished up with Daedalus is Dead. There was a debut novel. So we had Seamus Sullivan on. And again, both of those were 5-star reads. I'm not just saying that because they were on the channel. They've already been on the channel. I could say whatever I want about their book now. But no, seriously, they were both 5-star reads. So glad I read both of those books. And yeah, I think that is it. Trying to get caught up on my book reviews. I don't know what's going on right now. I don't know if this counts as September because I can't remember when I dropped the actual review. Yeah, I think I did drop it in September. But anyway, I did a book review for Kill Creatures. I know people say book reviews don't do well. I have a relatively small channel. My book reviews usually get 100. If I consider it popping off if it gets over 300, the 300 to 400 views. But again, it's based on channel size. For some of you guys, that may seem like a tiny amount, but for me, that's a pretty decent book review. And last time I checked, Kill Creatures is up at like 4,500 views. It's ridiculous for me. I think it's got like 80 watch hours, which doesn't seem like that much, but it's a 2-minute video. It's probably the shortest book review I've ever done. So anyhow, I don't know. Life is crazy. That is it. Everything I caught up on. Didn't watch a whole lot of TV last month. Didn't see any movies. So I'm sure we probably watched something, but whatever it was, it didn't stick. So wasn't much to talk about there. So everything we've caught up on. What's coming up this month? We already have the Brian Freeman interview out. That posted Monday. That was for his new book, Photograph. That book was so good. Not fantasy or sci-fi. It is, I want to put it under psychological thriller. I think that's the best place to put that one. It could probably fit in a couple genres, but that's what I'm going to run with. That one was great. Posting this Monday. I've already done the interview, but it hasn't posted yet. We had Kelly Armstrong on to talk about, that one. The Haunting of Payne's Hollow. Again, another great spooky season book, and another book that came in under the 300-page mark. So you've got time to fit that in, and it drops Tuesday, so you've also got time to pick that up. Still read it for spooky season. Is that everything? Brian, Kelly Armstrong. Yep, those are the 2 author interviews. And then towards the end of the month, check the calendar. I don't have the calendar up in front of me. Gonna have Sherilyn and Tabitha from. Sorry, I just watched a Bearded Book Beast once, so I had that in my brain for Triple B. Books, Beverages, and Besties, the other Triple B on BookTube. Those guys are going to be on. If you've watched any of their videos, I've got no clue where that's going to go. It's going to be chaos, and I'm sure we'll probably get some fun conversation coming in from the peanut gallery or the chat guys. Yeah. All right. If you've ever been in one of their live streams, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't, you need to come watch them. Those guys are excellent. And yes, they're both female, but guys, come on. That's for my age. That is a unisex term. Everybody's a guy, just like everybody's a dude. Dudette just sounds weird. Let's face it. All right. I'm going to shut up now before I get canceled. Appreciate everybody. Happy you check this out. Definitely check out the author interviews that have already dropped, and keep an eye out for the ones that are coming. November. You know what? It's early, but I'm doing this late, so we're already like halfway through October. So let me just throw these out there too. November, I've got Kate Elliott coming back. I've got Richard Paul Evans coming back, and I've got Neil Shusterman coming on for the first time. So November is packed. Going to try to fit in another booktuber. We'll have to see where that fits. I don't have one in stone at the moment. So November is going to be super packed. And then December you're just going to have to keep an eye on. We've got a surprise guest author. We have a surprise author interview coming on. If you're in the Discord, there's been a little hint. I'm pretty sure at least one of you has figured out who's coming on. If you're not in the Discord, well, A, why aren't you in the Discord? But that's besides the point. But yeah, definitely. I'm probably going to announce it at some time. I was really, really tempted to just keep it a surprise author and see who shows up. Don't think it's going to be a live stream, though. So I don't think we have that set in stone. But we do have it set in stone that it will be in December. That's going to be my one and only interview in December. I'm going to take a little time to catch up on my TBR and recharge a little bit. So, yeah, that's it. That is everything I've got. Have a good one, guys. Hope you find some 5-star reads, and I'll catch you later.